I'm the real victim here because I love Frizzy Rose. I love, to be honest, I'm not going to lie, at the time when Paul's going in at me at the round table, I wanted to launch across it and strangle him. Just get out, shut up. Don't do what you normally do. Make no friends. They're not your friends. Go in there, get the job sorted. Day one, I'm like, I love everybody. They're all my best.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Traitors Talk, episode 4. We are talking about episode 7 of the Traitors, and it's not just me and Emmy today. We have a special guest. We have Smiles. It's Smiles, everyone.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
I'm starstruck, Miles. I'm like, I can't believe you're here. Like, I've literally never been so excited watching a TV show in my life, and here you are talking to us about it.
We knew murder would make you so famous, eh? You know, like.
But you guys were watching it together. So the first time you watched it, Miles, you were watching it with Wilf. So how did that come about? Tell me everything.
The day I went to film Morning Live, they give me a little chat and just say who might be on the show. And I was like, okay, so Miles is on the show. So I gave Miles a little message and was like, you in the same hotel? He's like, yeah. I said, don't watch it by yourself. Come watch it with me. And then we had a couple of drinks.
He cradled me and dried my tears, But
yeah.
How was it watching it back? Watching the treachery? Like, was there? Did anything surprise you?
No, it's surreal. I mean, I remember how you feel, and you remember the situations, but it's watching it back and watching the details and watching your own face back, watching how you react to how you remember feeling. It's actually really quite unique. And I'm just reliving it, reliving the situation all over.
One of the scenes that really pulls my heart to pieces, right, is where Miles is outside the billiards room and he's hearing them scheming and planting seeds. And he's just listening. And he's listening. And I'm watching him listening to people talking about him. I was like, oh my God, my heart is like breaking right now.
I was at that moment. I remember thinking, do I scurry away? And I thought, no, that's not Miles like. So I thought, I'm going to go in and be like, what we were talking about, guys? And the shit we were talking about, and put them on the spot, let them feel a bit awkward and a bit out of sorts.
You won't make Paul feel awkward, mate. Paul won't feel awkward ever.
yeah, he's not very comfortable.
But I mean, let's talk about what was going on in your head during that episode then, Miles, because, you did the Poison Chalice. What were you thinking when you walked in and you saw Diane sat there at breakfast?
To be honest, I kind of thought, I've failed. I had the challenge, and I thought, get away with that one. I can carry on my day like normal. That's absolutely fine. And then also really confused, which is obviously what you can see. You shouldn't be breaking bread with me if you're dead. And obviously, as the day unfolds, it's hard to realise that you're going to have to sit across, croissants and coffee from somebody who you know who's going to be dead at the end of the day. So.
Did you have any suspicions that Claudia was going to come in and say something like that? So obviously you think you've probably failed the mission. Like for me, I thought you could have failed because the bongs went off. So I was like, maybe they didn't hit it at midnight or something like that.
Or she didn't drink it, because that was a big theory that it was,
I think, to be honest, I thought it was going to be like, even if it was that case, that Claudia's going to come and drop a bombshell, it'd be like, by the end of the day, someone will be dead. And they'll disappear in a tiny little cage somewhere, and that's where they die. Perfect. Not the fact I'm going to have to go through a whole funeral procession and watch their coffin close as they lowered into the ground. A little bit different. So,
wait. Right. We'll talk about that in a sec, right? First of all, I just need to ask you a question. Do you actually not like fizzy wine?
No. Can I clarify this? Okay, I just want to clarify this. Because I'm the real victim here because I love Frizzy Rose. I love and I had to hand my Frizzy Rose out and give it to Diane to get the job done because I'm so dedicated as a traitor to get the job sorted. And I had to have this boring flat rose. So, really, who really suffered here, guys? I think it would be me.
So you had to find the chalice, right? So... And when we were watching it, I remember just thinking, oh my God, why is it taking so long? How long did it actually take you, roughly, to find it?
It was painful.
About like hours. And to be honest, that was the point that you loved the most, Rob, when I go to the kitchen, I'm like... So I'm like...
That face.
Paul goes back into the kitchen, just like, go and start talking to everybody like normal. I'm like, I need you next door to try and have that poison chalice that we were for.
There's a water bottle situation. Can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
In this room, you have a water bottle, so if you could just show me where that was, that'd be great. Do you want to come in here and try and help with this murder? You know, that's what I'm kind of going for my life. So then trying to actually find it incognito without anybody realising, oh, where are you three? Because not only do you not want to be found, you don't want to be found together. You know, trying to find it and then panicking and then trying to act casual and then trying to find it again and be casual. It's like, it felt like hours.
It was hilarious to watch. I loved it. So you got the burden, right, of delivering the poison chalice to Diane. Yeah, it's a tricky task to do. Do you think if you didn't do that, you'd last to the end? Because I was so hoping you'd get to the end.
Yeah, I mean, going off the facts, my name had never been mentioned or brought on anyone's talk board or really honed in on until that moment.
Yeah.
I feel like if that hadn't been the case, I think I probably would have cruised. I mean, I might have got a bit heat near to the end, you know, because people might say we haven't really looked at Miles, but what have you got to go off, really? That there wasn't really much to go off, other than the fact that maybe I stood in the wall via a challenge, you know? So that was the only thing that kind of made me looked at differently. But yeah, so I think, to be honest, if it hadn't been for the fizzy rosé, I think it might have been it might have had a bit of a cruiser.
I mean, you seem very chill about it though, Miles. Like, I feel like I feel like a little bit cheated. Like, why didn't I get one of those people to give her the glass of fizzy rosé instead? Because you took the big job and you kind of got punished for it.
I did, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to lie. At the time when Paul's going in at me at the round table, I wanted to launch across it and strangle him. Just get out, shut up. But at the same time, the reason why, and people are like, oh, why did you nominate yourself? The reason why I did that is because most evenings I would always give out drink.
Smart, right.
So it was like, one or two things was going to happen. I can either give out the drink again and people are just not going to be like, oh, it's Miles giving out more drink. Or it's going to be a situation where we're going to think he's Miles anyway, because he normally hands out the drinks. So he was like, yeah, damned if I do and damned if I don't. You know,
It's such a hard challenge to do. Like, you know, when you murdered Diane, right? When you chose Diane to be murdered, did you have any idea that she would become a national treasure?
I mean, I had no idea she was going to be a massive gay icon, you know? So, but people hate me right about now, you know?
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, you know, well, one thing I did say to see is someone saying, oh, we lost two queens in that episode, you know? So I'm like, you know, someone's going to take Diane out, and if you're going to take it out, why not do the big explosion of having a big old funeral today over Fizzy Rose? You know, like, if I'm going to go.
I mean, I was saying that, yeah, she had the greatest send-off. I don't think anyone's even that mad that she's gone, because it just led to, like, the best send-off ever.
Well, the whole nation's come to her funeral, haven't they? You know, they called her funeral after her death at the Traitors. So it's sort of, and like she even said it herself, and again, that's on the chair, it just wouldn't have been a good enough send-off for me. So, well, Diane, you've got me to thank that you've got your own funeral.
And the thing is, it's like when you're murdered in a normal way on the Traitors, it's very harsh because you're just gone. You don't get to say bye to anyone. You don't really, like, being banished is probably easier than being murdered, I think, because you get to say bye to people and have your little say. If you're murdered, you just don't get to say nothing. At least you got half a day of listening to a choir. That choir was so funny. The person to be punished. I was like, this is amazing. And you all look so serious. I would have been cracking up.
I was under pressure because I knew at that time as well. Everyone's like thinking, what's going on? I'm like, I know what's going on. I know what's going to be at the end of this, and I'm responsible for it, you know?
I'm actually really curious about that. Were you laughing between takes, or were you all deadly serious during that whole thing?
I think you know, when it sounds so ridiculous, but wearing the black, having the horse and the big old cart behind us, and Claude leading us, I think we all thought, oh gosh, this has got really, really deep, really dark, and quickly, really intense, yeah.
So I guess if I was there probably, and it's so intense, and Claudia's walking and all the horses are behind you, I think I probably would have been serious too, because they are good at getting you in that zone.
I mean, the thing is as well, is that my game plan, and my husband said the same thing, he goes, right, you're going to go in there, he goes, don't do what you normally do, make no friends, they're not your friends, go in there, get the job sorted. Day one, I'm like, I love everybody, they're all my friends. So then when you see your friends kind of being really worried and unsure and a bit, you know, say scared, but worried are they going to go? I feel it. You feel that, and then you want to go to everybody, you guys are going to be okay, Diane. And you obviously can't do that, So when you see your kind of close, your Traitor family kind of suffering, you feel it as well, So, and I've also felt it even worse because I know I was responsible for it, so.
I think it's easy for Paul, though. That man does not. He's chill.
I love Paul. Looking at Paul, right? Paul has basically been a part of getting rid of Ash. Would you say, out of Paul and Harry, who would you like to see win? What traitor would you like to see win?
I think the thing is, at the moment, so look at what's on the playing cards on the table. Paul has got a lot of power, but Harry is actually coming across more faithful. And both of them, you need both to get to the end, So I think potentially Harry might have that because I think he might be, like he said in the episode, he might be underestimated.
Can we just say quickly, right? If people who are watching, go back to episode 1, yeah? I say Harry from the beginning. Miles has always been my favourite, but I feel like Harry from the beginning was going to win. Paul was my favourite to watch, though, in terms of entertainment.
Miles was on top of your power ladder at one point.
Yeah.
Griffiths is holding all the cards.
I forgot Miles was a traitor watching it.
Yeah.
Like, watching it, I was like, oh yeah, Miles is a traitor. Did anything shock you watching it back? Because obviously when you're there, you see things happen. But when you watch the episode, you actually see people talking about you or something else happening.
One thing I was like, hold on 1 minute, was me jumping on the wall, okay? Because I just want to clarify, people were dropping like flies in that graveyard, and because no one was watching the light clearly. So I thought, being helpful, I would jump on the wall and be like, right, you guys dig, don't have to worry about the light, I'll be your eyes. And then they're like, oh, that's Miles doesn't know how whatsoever. I've only clarified that actually people did think I was helpful at that time. But
you did this face like you didn't know you didn't know what you were shouting at one point. You just went, and nothing came out your mouth.
Because all of a sudden you're shouting, and everyone's like, Thunderbird, I'm not paying any attention. And you're like, guys, and that's why you need to listen because that's what we're dropping out, So that was the only thing I thought, hold on 1 minute, I thought I was being really helpful, but clearly he wasn't thought.
And what's your family made of your performance on the Traitors, Miles? I know you mentioned your husband. Was he watching being like, for God's sake, I told you to do one thing. You had one job.
I came back, obviously, I told him nothing. I've told nobody anything about the show. So it was really nice to see them watched the show as the show's unfolding,
Yeah.
I had my family and friends over for the first episode, and they had to watch the second one because they're looking at me, looking at the show, looking at me, thinking, have you been recruited? I'm like, watch it, let's wait and see. But then at the end, they're like, I was so proud of you. And they said basically what you see is pretty much how I am.
Sorry, I can't help I keep thinking about Paul, right? When you say you're a traitor, you go, yeah!
No, and I felt like going, oh, is that a surprise to you, Paul? Is that a surprise? You didn't know, did you? Didn't know.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It was borderline psychopath, like.
It's like Harry afterwards as well, going like, he's doing too much, man. He's doing too much. So obviously the cliffhanger that we were left on was your replacement is being recruited, basically. By the time Traitors Talk comes out, we'll know who it is. But so what I want to ask you is, if you were in that situation, out of those 4, who would you be choosing? Who do you think they're going with?
Depends on what the game plan is. Okay, so if they want to they want to have somebody who's like, frames of the walls, sacrificial lamb, they may want to go with someone like Zach or Ross, whose name's kind of piped around a few times before.
Yeah.
We kind of have a bit of agreement on this everywhere with that. I think Jazz
100%.
Jasmine's such a good voice around people. I think should be really good to have. Big
question though for you, Miles. Who are you rooting for to win the cash and why?
I would really like somebody who's not actually been in the radar at all, and it'd be Molly.
Okay.
Heart of Gold. She's still obviously faithful, which is why if I had the chance, I would want to recruit her because I think she'd be a great alliance and I think she'd do the game really well. But at the same time, I think she's just got heart of gold.
Ash was sticking with her team Traitors, but Miles, you're
No, that's to me. That's to me now. The Traitors, obviously, it's kind of got that advantage. So it'd be nice to either have a traitor win, and if it's not that case, I think out of the faithfuls, I'd probably want it to be Molly.
thank you so much to everyone for joining me, Wilf, and Miles on Traitors Talk. Please leave all of your comments, your theories, everything. We love hearing from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and head over to hellomagazine.com for more news of the Traitors. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.